Gary Vaynerchuk is a serial entrepreneur, investor, one of the most sought after public speakers alive today, and a 4-time New York Times best-selling author. He went from being born in the Soviet Union, moving to America, and living in a studio apartment with 8 other family members, to becoming a successful entrepreneur with a net worth of $160 million. Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Believe Nation.
Top 10, I got a top 10. Got my motivation high for my top 10. Gotta learn from the wise women and men. All my life, like 9 for my top 10, top 10, 9. This one's for my top 10.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because chances are you are the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more, and you get that push that you need by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Gary Vaynerchuk, and my take on his top 10 rules for success. Enjoy. Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1. Take full ownership.
So one of my favorite Gary V answers was when asked what you would do if your daughter, when she turns 14, goes into her room and is filming all her videos and nobody likes it, and she comes out and says, "Nobody in this world loves me," and your answer was, "Step your game up," I believe was the answer. Tell us about that.
The market is the market, man. Like, you know, if nobody's watching your stuff, like, it's not good enough. Like, everybody thinks their stuff is so good. Like, every day, Gary, my Instagram's so on fire, it's so awesome. Why is nobody, like, why am I not gaining followers? Because it's not awesome. Like, of course, like, it's just back to the same, like, you've seen it. You all have friends who be like, "Look how cute my kid is," and you're like, "Ugh." You know, like, it's what we think. We all think our stuff is the best, and like, I get that. But yeah, that would be my advice, only because that also is liberating. Like to me, everything's about breathing, right? Like, to me, everything is about, like, take full ownership for everything, and then everything gets easy, because then you're in control. And then learn how to love to lose. Like, for me, my game's simple, right? It's all my fault. So now, I'm not mad at Lindsay or D-Rock, or that's it, my fault. I'm empowering them. So it's actually true. My fault. Now, oh, we lost this, or this didn't deliver, or we f***ed up. All right, it's an L. Like, everybody's got losses. You know, it's funny, when UFC started getting popular, I started using it to paint the picture. I'm like, look, business and entrepreneurship is much more UFC than it is boxing. In boxing, a loss is devastating. Like, you know, if you ever, you know, I'm a big boxing fan, like most big fights, like the big fights through the year, almost, it's just unbelievable amounts of 33-0 versus 35-0, right? Just like, that's like what you do. You don't fight anybody, and you get to that level. Everybody's got losses in the UFC. And so I think that's how entrepreneurship, that's how life is. We all have losses. And so I like losses. I love adversity. I like the climb. I like the chip on my shoulder. I like when people are like, "Oh, I knew it. He's not that good." That is like I'm even weirdly scared as I continue to ascend and I'm getting popular, and what did you say? The marketing leading, like, as people start putting these words in front of my name, I'm like, am I gonna sabotage myself to like recorrect this? Like, I like adversity. So yeah, all on me. You know, I enjoy losses. Now all of a sudden, like, what? You become completely invincible. I feel invincible. I really genuinely, outside of the health of myself and 20 people, feel 100% invincible as a person.
Rule number 2, develop self-awareness.
There are gonna be times where naturally, right now I'm in a phase in my health, in working out, especially after I really severely sprained my ankle, where over the last 4 years, I'm probably at the heaviest, I've got the most fat that I've had in 4 years. And for the last 3 months, I've just not been in the same zone that I've been for the last 4 years. I'm dealing with it by not over-judging myself. And so things ebb and flow. Like right now, you're in massively good physical shape. I mean, you just are. I'm impressed.
I did biceps today, so.
I'm impressed. But I'm sure you intuitively understand there'll probably be a chapter where you won't be as tight on your regimen and what have you. The way, you know, I'm very fascinated by the conversation of work ethic, hustle, overworking. I'm fascinated by people's ability to not take on accountability. I never feel like my points of view and my thoughts and my hot takes and my passions and my story are right. I've never believed that in my life. I don't think they're right. I think I enjoy sharing them because I enjoy sharing them. I'm a communicator. There's some selfish needs of communicating, I'm sure, but like I share them, but everybody shares them. This thought that, you know, I think one of the biggest things we need to get more thoughtful about is this question, which is, the answer to the question is by conversating with yourself and trying to develop self-awareness and not look for outside validation. When people email me and say, Gary Vee, I've been hustling 15 hours a day, I'm like, you getting enough rest? You good? Are you pumped? Like with intention, my intention is to be happy. And so I'm not gonna apologize for enjoying my work.
Rule number 3, chase actual results.
Talk about like society wrapped up in vanity, like of social. If you are a high school guy who's a nerd, but you get a blue check from Instagram, your life changed.
You get any girl you want.
The amount of people that send me things like, I will rip my arm off if you can help me get verified on Insta. Like literally things like, I will sell you my children if you get me verified on, like, I will give you my home.
It's crazy.
And live in a cardboard box. And I'm just like, this is the saddest shit ever. Mm-hmm. And a lot of my content in the last 6 months has been like, please do not get wrapped up in likes and, you know, your rank in the podcast list or checks. Like that is such a death game. You will lose that game. You will start pandering to those results versus actual results.
By creating a great product consistently.
New York Times bestseller list.
Yeah.
I don't pander to that. I don't want to hire the companies that get me on the list. I want to sell more books.
Yeah.
That's the KPI. Impact more people. That's even the bigger KPI. But look, I mean, the world has always traded on, I mean, you know, do you know how sad at this point I am when I'm on these 30, well, I'm not 30, excuse me, like top 40 influencers or 50 under 50 now, which is the only thing I can, you know,
how old are you now, 40?
42.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think that, you know, I hate it because my feed gets filled up with like, congratulations, or the other people that are on it trying to get me into a conversation. Not because I kudos to them, because I was the most pumped too when I was like 10 most important people in the wine business under 40, like amazing, I get it. But it's, as you get older, you realize how those awards or those like just completely arbitrary things of like an editor liked one of your podcasts and decided, and we all get excited.
Yeah.
Like 6 best podcasts to listen in 2018. You want to be a part of that, you want awareness. Here's what I would say, we've overcorrected a lot of people into caring about that more than the actual results. And so we care more about the facade than we care more about like, look how nice my room, like this, we're in a beautiful room right now, right? You've really done a nice job with this.
Yeah.
I like how you put like the more important people on their own like wall over here. That's
well, they were just bigger photos.
No,
so
no, you made them bigger. I know you. But here's what's interesting to me. What's interesting is if the concrete and steel under this building is well, this whole thing falls. It didn't matter that you put some like tree.
How pretty it is,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think right now, too many entrepreneurs and personalities and people, 98% of the people that are listening to this podcast right now are caring about the decorations and the curtains and the painting in the room, not the steel and the concrete holding up the room. And I think that that's an important conversation to be had. And I think a lot of what makes me happy and worked for me has been the steel and the concrete.
Rule number 4, don't rely on luck.
Where you end up in your, you know, your career is going to be predicated on many things, and talent is one of them. Your ambition is another, circumstance. You know, all of us, if we have a tragic event, check out. Like there's a million variables in life, but take away luck, like, you know, do you know that I do not play the lottery because I'm scared to win?
You're scared to win?
I do not play the lottery because I'm scared to win, because then everybody will say that it was the lottery ticket that enabled me to do the things I'm planning on doing the next 50 years.
Also, if you want to have more confidence, self-love, and motivation, check out my 254 series where every day for the next 254 days, I'll send you an amazing unlisted video to your email for free to move your confidence forward. The links to join are in the description below.
The reason people aren't patient is they value other people's opinions too much. I'm so grateful that I don't give a crap what anybody thinks of me while equally caring. The biggest obstacle to success is a lack of optimism.
Rule number 5, stay true to yourself.
No entrepreneur can be successful with somebody who is not independent. None. There's no entrepreneur.
Partner.
That's right.
Yeah.
No Sally, if her husband Rick is not independent and can't keep himself busy and isn't about his life, she can't do what she needs to do because he's gonna be pulling her at all times and making her feel guilty for taking that extra business trip, for looking at the phone during dinner. And so you need, if you're a true bred entrepreneur, an obsessed entrepreneur, and what I mean by that is, I believe, I know your audience, I know mine, I believe 87% of the people listening right now are in it for the money. They're in it for the short term, get the money, go on the nice vacations, right? Buy the nice car. If you're part of the 13% that I'm a part of, which is you would die tomorrow if somebody said you couldn't play. I would much rather make $100,000 a year, and I proved this. This is what I did in my, from 22 to 34, I made $150, $130, $167, $49,000 a year building my dad's business for him. I never got upset that I got no equity. I don't have resentment that I left that business at 34 with nothing. Even when people say to me, don't listen to Gary, his daddy put him on or gave him the business, when I know the true story is, I didn't get anything. I just built a monster business for my dad in my best years of my youth and then left and started over, right? I mean, VaynerMedia started with me getting a client to pay, because I had no money to pay me and AJ or anybody else. For the 13% who are listening, they get it, which is like, look, no question, I think a lot of people are like bullshit if they don't know me, but if you know me, make $14 million a year, right? And not be able to play anymore, passive income. Make $200,000 a year and get able to play, I'm not even close. It's $200,000 and play. I'll suffocate.
You mean
I'm like
play?
a fish out of water if I'm not building a business. Every moment of my life since 1987 has been unbelievably passionately 98% of my human energy against the notion of either my family or building the business that's in my hands at the time. Baseball cards, liquor store, you know, my personal brand, VaynerMedia, the investments I've made, selling a book. I'm always in project mode operating. I've, you know, from the day I started working, I've been running a company, becoming Gary V and all that stuff. There's never been a day where Gary V has been my business. Every day since May of 1998, I've been running Wine Library or VaynerMedia, all of them. Every single day in continuum. So, yeah, I mean, to me, if you're one of those 13%, for all the 13% that are listening, if you're still not married, or by the way, if you're married, you may want to consider divorce. I'm being really serious here, because you're not doing yourself a favor and you're not doing your partner a favor. If you are not blindly supported, you will suffocate and die. It will not work. It just will not work.
Rule number 6, evolve.
And I think for some people, the come up's easier and the level up's harder. For other people, it's the reverse. For me, you know what? It's gonna be a fun recall. The same guy who works the room with the same level of humility and deep passion to meet people and help them and help himself if serendipitously he stumbles into an opportunity, who loves to co-sign and watch people shine and like, why not? Who likes to like add to that, you know, is the same guy today that was 7 years ago, and that's the same with me with Wine Tech's, Tops. Like, I'm pretty much navigating the same exact business blueprint that got me here, and I'm a more mature version. I'm in the subtleties much better than I used to be, but at its core, like what, you know, a lot of times you hear this saying, you know, what got you here is what you need to double down on, and then you hear contradictions like, you gotta change up now that you're at the next level. I think people make those things absolute. Here's how I see it. I'm tripling down on what got me here, but I'm maturing and evolving around the edges and changing certain things, more mature, more thoughtful, not making the same mistakes, experienced Gary should be better than rookie Gary.
Rule number 7, focus on things that matter.
Unless it's complete death to me and my 17 people that I give a shit about, like everything else is super secondary. And let me tell you something, if you actually get into that mindset, it gets real good. Like everybody like makes these big deals out of things that just don't matter. It's perspective. You know, my selfishness comes from my selflessness. Like it's what makes me feel good. I see it in my mother. My mom is the epicenter to every single person in her life. Her sister-in-law, her cousins, aunts, everybody goes to her. That's her comfort zone. Me too. Ask Gary V. Like this is my comfort zone. Like I like this. Like I hate when people are like, what can I do for you? Like I say nothing. I don't want anything. I hate that feeling. I went into my family business because I felt like I owed it to like pay them back. Those are my parents. So if that's what I feel about them, what do you think I think about everybody else?
Rule number 8, appreciate micro failures.
There's a really interesting thing that an entrepreneur, that she or he needs to be able to manage a lot of things, which is, I'll use this analogy, TD. This is the easiest way I can put it. Some people really just want to juggle 3 balls, and they do it, and nothing falls, and they're like, look. And I'm like, cool, that's amazing. I'm going to juggle 25 plates. 9 of them are gonna break, right? But I'm 16 to your 3, and because I actually don't care about judgment, because the reason a lot of people don't do things is, look, Empathy, which is a wine brand that I launched. I come from the wine business. I'm building a machine that's building brands, and if Empathy fails, that's like a big L, and like could really like slow me down if somebody's thoughtfully looking at me. But I'm okay with that L, and I think what you need to do is have a stomach to be able to have losses.
Have you had any losses?
Plenty.
Okay.
You know, when we started VaynerMedia, I also launched 2 other companies, Corked and Forest. A lot of things I invest in, incubate. Here's where things.
Failure's part of the game.
It has to be.
And here's where people need clarity on this. Micro failures.
Right, not the major
And this is where people get confused. I lose millions over the last 10 years of my career, I've probably lost millions of dollars every year on a failure, but nothing.
You're making me feel real good right now, buddy.
But the reason I'm making you feel good, and I don't have the details on where you're going with that, is, but it didn't put you out of business. It didn't, you didn't have to go and be Rocky 5 and go back to like
Rule number 9, achieve true greatness.
I think that when it's all said and done, and we've been talking a lot about legacy, that when it's all said and done, you've achieved greatness when, even though all along the way, there was a narrative of, he's a dick, or he'll never pull it off, or what has he ever really done? Greatness is when you are on that last day, both the fans and the non-fans have to accept and acknowledge the results.
And rule number 10, the last one before a very special bonus clip, is eat a couple less plates.
Hunger is a really interesting thing. Hunger is an interesting thing because when you're hungry, when you get an opportunity, you tend to overgorge.
When I think back, it's like...
Real quick on this.
Yeah.
It's a really important analogy that I've thought about, but I've never said out loud. When you're hungry and you get to a buffet, you throw up. And so when people are hungry for success and they get in front of me or anybody else or an opportunity, they overeat.
Truth.
I know.
It's facts.
And I know you get it.
I do get it.
And I think that you're eating a couple less plates now at your at-bats, and that's why things are happening.
Yeah.
Now I've got a special bonus clip from Gary that I think you're gonna enjoy. But before that, if you've made it this far in the video, you're still watching, I wanna celebrate you. Here in Believe Nation, we don't just watch videos, we take action. So if you commit to taking action immediately after watching this video, give me a hashtag Believe down in the comments as well.
Listen, when I talk about kindness being the foundation of business success, a lot of people in the comment section, DMs, hit me up with the concept of, Gary, you're wrong, I'm so kind, and people walk all over me. This is a shout out, this is a call of action, this is a question to the humans that say, you're wrong, I always get walked all over. I want to ask you a simple question. When you perceive that you're giving, is that you giving something with the expectation that something happens? Like, are you like grabbing Tyler's coffee every day, but really what you want him to do is promote you, and when he doesn't, you're like, oh, Tyler didn't ask you to get that coffee on the way. Were you doing something kind because you expected something in return? That, in the English language, is called manipulation. Kindness, giving, is giving and being kind with 0, double 0 expectations in return. Evan, thank you so much for having a couple seconds and being able to tell the Believe Nation a little bit about Empathy Wines. It means a lot to me that you would take this valuable real estate and time on your channel to give me some love. It means a lot. It's just good karma points, and so you're awesome. Thank you. Believe Nation, if you're into wine at all, go to empathywines.com. My whole career's work was poured into producing a wine that rivaled $40 to $60 wine for 20 bucks a bottle. I'm just super excited about this subscription-based wine business. You can order 3, 6, or 12 bottles in subscription form, rosé, white, red. If you search on Instagram or Twitter, you will be blown away. People are literally like, I don't even like Gary Vee, but the wine's good. Super proud of the effort. Thanks, Evan, for the time. Wishing you guys all happy and healthy.
If you want to learn how to market on social media like Gary Vee, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.